Okay, so in this last part of this intense webinar, I would like to show just some slides and to introduce a topic that have been discussed already with all the partners of the consortium about the well, I would say the certification. The PermaModule is the first time that actually we have a permaculture course in the university. So it's actually, even this is a well, educational transition, I would say, not an ecological, but educational transition from socially recognized institution to official recognized institution, that what is the nominally the university for. We know we say university and permaculture institute, both they have some certification and certification approach, and the speech today is actually covering this. I'm part of the Italian Academy of Permaculture, so this is but I really well know the university as a PhD. So I will introduce now only what is the perspective and the focus from the Permaculture Academy in Italy about the certification. So what is the aim of the certification? It's actually the aim is to be sure that the teaching and the course are made with a high quality standard. So taking account that the certification, as it is specified, that is available in I mean in all the permaculture institutes, is specified and is designed to support the quality standard of the course. So actually we can come back and don't see the certification at the end. So to understand, we don't focus on the well, the meaning of the certification, but we have to come back at the starting point and to see. So the right question is, which is a good permaculture course? Well, actually, a permaculture course is a good product, is a good system if it is properly designed. So a permaculture teacher is pushed to design their own course following the design approach that the permaculture itself suggests to the designer. So if actually a teacher is able to properly cover the principles that are here report, there are the 12 principles of Holmgren, the ethics, the basic 3 pillars of the permaculture. Actually, we would say, okay, this is a certified course, because we were pretty sure that the quality standard will be high. So this is the suggestion to all the teachers, to take into account of this. Have a care, please take care of the people, please take care of the students, please take care of the topics, and try to push the students themselves to have a fair share of all of they have, knowledge, needs, feedback. And so this is the basic step to have a good permaculture course. Actually, the Italian Academy is involved in, I would say, in a worldwide debate about the certification. And so actually the question that could be answered are these, is which is the quality standard? Why we do have the need of a PDC certificate? What is used for? Which one could be the certification process? In case we have a certification, how to have a worldwide register to allow all the other institutions to access this register and to understand if someone has a proper certification or not. And then which authorities, institution, university, or whatever, are allowed to provide the certification. So the Italian Academy have not the answer to all the questions, but try to work on this. And actually the outcome have been actually collect in the specification of some guidelines that are willing to support all the teacher to have a proper PDC course. And actually, this is something that I did during this webinar. Actually, I was actually pointing the question to myself and say, how to describe a certificate to some permaculture students? Well, the easy way is actually to use some tool the permaculture give us. So a certificate, we can do a functional analysis on the certificates. And to get a certificate, you have some needs. You need to follow a course with a certain curriculum. You have to spend at least 72 hours. The teacher, they should be a permaculture teacher, and after we will specify what is the meaning of this. You have to get some design practice during the course. You are pushed to have an open discussion and debate with the students and teacher to have a peer-to-peer discussion of the topics, active learning approach, and free and clear feedback management. What is used for? The certificates actually certificate the basic knowledge of a permaculture design. So everyone with the PDC certificate is actually considered by the other people as someone that know the basic knowledge of permaculture design. And the certificates allow the access to a permaculture diploma. That is actually the active learning path, the further step after the PDC course. There are several different certificates, depends on who is the certifying institution. It could be national, international, it could be recognized or not. So the guidelines that the Italian Academy provide and that specify are based on this 7 point. So curriculum, direct experience, 3 point on the teacher staff. So who is the teacher of a permacultural course? And an important point is on the feedback. That is actually the only point that allow everyone involved in a course, teacher and students, to understand and to understand and get a feedback and re-evaluate what have been done. For a PDC certificate, the major point on the curriculum is actually that the 72 hours that are supposed to be spent in the lesson, well, actually they should be enough to cover most of the topics that are reported in the Permaculture Design Manual. One other important thing is that the direct experience is important that the teacher actually share their own knowledge of something that actually is part of their personal experience, because these support a more effective learning from the students. It's better to share what actually what you have really done, and not some shared experience from someone else. So this is taking account this point, even to all the time with the concept of the quality standard. There's more quality in a teaching if from someone with a practical and direct experience of what they share with the students. Another point, teaching staff. This is one, but I think that there are 3 points that are really important. In a PDC course, the teacher would say there should be a permaculture teacher. And what does it mean? It's not so different from other teacher, but actually, well, we would like the aim is to be sure that not everyone with no experience, no teaching experience, or with no permaculture design experience, teach a PDC by itself with no maybe additional support. So it's important to have a mentor, a tutor of the PDC that is a teacher. So it means that they have a PDC certificate and either a diploma, and that already experienced several teaching hours in a face-to-face permaculture course. Yeah, so these are some rules that we expect to be covered by a teacher and a course tutor. So to keep it short, so I think you understood more or less the topic. Well, the last point is the feedback, because it's a fundamental tool, because it supports the responsibility of everyone. It is important actually that this is something that normally at the well, I didn't see at the academic level to be well, to be often proposed. It's important to to have a final feedback of the course, but even either to have a continuous check and feedback between teacher, students, and teacher. So it's really important to have a bi-directional feedback every day. Try to check every time how it goes, because this is actually the natural pattern that Mother Nature have. Every time, design a system, run the system, and check it back if it works or not. If something doesn't work properly, well, change a bit, redesign. So this is the way the course should be done, with daily integration of the needs of the students.
Thank you, Paolo. I think you laid it out very well, the details of an accredited permaculture course. I've just got one slide to share where I echo what Paolo mentioned, is just to emphasize that the Permaculture Association Britain, PAB, and the Permaculture Research Institute, PRI, they also accredit, they've got an accreditation system, but what they do, they accredit the teacher. So once the educator or teacher is accredited, and the process is the links are the PAB and PRI, it's pretty much what Paolo laid out. You have to have, as an accredited teacher, a thorough program of what you're teaching. It's aligned with the permaculture principles and so on. But the difference is that they accredit the teacher. Whereas the Permaculture Academy in Italy, they accredit the PDC itself. So it's a slight difference, but essentially there's economies of scale where you accredit the teacher and then the teacher's courses are automatically accredited, compared to the Permaculture Academy in Italy, where every PDC is accredited in turn, and that requires a submission for every course. But if you've got the standard course that is already accredited previously, then it should be a fairly easy process to follow. What I'm suggesting here is that universities take up this offer of embedding a PDC that's accredited by their local institute. And that could be a very good stepping stone towards whole systems design thinking, because this leads us on to the next stage, with what do you do with a simple permaculture design course? You know, that's just your first stepping stone towards deepening your knowledge of permaculture and applied design. So Permaculture Association Britain, they pioneered the process for how to put together a bit more that's just a PDC, a 72-hour certificate. So they put together a process for how you can get a diploma in applied permaculture design. And one of the pioneers there, Andy Langford, he was the director of the British Permaculture Association at the time. It was his ideas that came embedded in this process, where students go out there who've done a PDC as their first stepping stone, and they go and design projects. You know, they start assembling a portfolio of designs, different designs, and when they've got 10 designs together, they're going to present them in front of a panel of permaculture experts. So the illustration on the right is the kind of pathway that you take. And they developed this quite well now, where you've got support systems throughout your diploma process. You can get assigned a design mentor. And also, if you take on a specialist topic that your mentor is not well equipped with, they'll go and find a technical assistant supporter to help you navigate this pathway. But it's quite an exciting journey, because you start assembling a portfolio of design projects, and this is how you gain experience from your first step of your PDC. And the British process was introduced to the Italian Academy of Permaculture around about 2004. And from then on, they've been following pretty much the same system. So again, just think about it. From the university perspective, I'm quite sure about this fact, but the academics can verify this, that whole systems thinking is a postgraduate subject. Whole systems design thinking. It's not undergraduate. It's already in the realm of postgraduate studies. So is it not possible to link this diploma process, where you assemble 10 projects under your belt, and then you go and study some specialist courses in systems thinking, systems design approaches at a university level, and that ought to get you to a master's and MSc in permaculture design. I'm just putting it out there because I think there's synergies that one can explore with the diploma process.
I think your suggestion is a great kickoff to an open discussion. Would be very nice to hear, especially from the teachers and professors at university level, on how they could see that happening. There are also ways to create new European projects in the future in that field, I suppose.
Of course, this experience could not finish with the PermaModule project. I think we should have a vision for the future that Ezio anticipated. So, but also the idea of some center, some place, some campus where study and practice permaculture and other perspective. I call the declination and perspective of sustainable agriculture, or sustainable, more than sustainable agriculture today. I would like to talk about sustainable agri-food system, because we need to reach the citizens with a safe product, accessible to everybody, with a good price, and linked to the territory, packaged with sustainable material, with a label that allow us to know how much CO2 was emitted to produce the 1 kilo of bread or 1 liter of wine, and so on. I mean, we have all these parameters that today we can measure and we can communicate, that it will be the shift, because I think a consumer now, they know what they want to buy, and I think with a proper logistic, we can avoid a lot of steps that are occupied by speculation that make producer and consumer far from each other.
If I can say something, I agree with Paolo, and the key point is the food print, and then the CO2 emitted or used. And so is this the comparison we have to do? It's not to estimate how many benefit in terms of money can we obtain, but how we can exploit or use our environment. So by LSCA is very simple to compare this kind of food printing or environmental printing. And in any case, I agree with Paolo. This is the step point is not finished, because we need to implement all these studies, but it's a good starting point in any case. And for the future, just my idea is to move this course in a master course, and so is another level. Also, by Horizon we can apply much more better than with by Erasmus, in order to have at least much more CFU to use in each university, because the weak point is the time, because the energy there are the expertise, but unfortunately I think also the time and the length of the course is too short for the complexity of the discussion and for the evaluation of a very detailed plan or planning work. So if we have to implement this network, and our university can be the logistic point for this network, and also our cities, and also we can say we can idealistically link our community for this pathway, in order to have a similar brand with local food or permaculture, or food came from permaculture system, in order to explain which is also the difference with the other systems and which is the complexity of the permaculture approach. I think also I thought today if our administrative in the Sicilia region apply permaculture Sicily probably will be much more nice and beautiful. And so this is the work we have to do to expand the knowledge of permaculture and the system, and to use these studies for implementing the visibility of these systems in our countries, and start to have a networking in order to apply for a master course degree.
Thank you, Ferdinando. I take the opportunity of you mentioning evaluation to ask the students and teachers who are there today with us to kindly fill in the surveys that have been passed on by the partners here about the course and how you found the different outputs of this course. If you have not received this survey already through your teachers, I'm sure they will send it very soon. If we try to focus the last remaining minutes, maybe we can take just another couple of minutes to discuss how and whether permaculture organizations would allow PDCs to take place in universities. I don't know, Ezio, but maybe your expertise could be interesting here. On if you know if there are any barriers from the permaculture movements.
Not really, Antoine, because I know the British Permaculture Association, they had an educators gathering in April. And I was one of the talkers on university level permaculture. So it's and I presented the work that this project is doing, very high level. And there was another presentation also from Edinburgh University. So they are starting to introduce it, but I don't think as wide scale as it's been anticipated.
Okay, so there are already connections and willingness to create these links. Does anybody want to take the floor now to ask a question or to reply?
Just one comment. Actually, I'm trying to figure out which step could we expect with the interaction between a permaculture institution and university. Is actually, I think, if I had to evaluate the two systems in a separate way, I will suggest these things. The PermaModule for us more or less follow most of the points that are described in the guideline from the Italian Academy. The only point that raised a doubt from us is about a teacher that to get a PDC, the teacher is we hope the teacher is a permaculture teacher. Well, it's really difficult to define what is a permaculture teacher and what is different between the other teacher, but it's actually we cover this gap with the specific permaculture teaching course. So one option I would say that is to invite the university teacher to follow a PTM. So if that is actually a course that lasts 5 days, but that suggests all the tools and techniques to support the permaculture teaching. So in this case, I found out that some of the major gap between the two systems, it would be covered. And so this is a possible solution. And other things is actually that for me, it's, well, I see the two system as from a system point of view. And actually, I found out really interesting how the system can cope one with the other and mingle in between. And actually, we know from the permaculture principle that the value is in the age. So in the age between the two is actually we get the more interesting things. And actually, if we put together these two systems, we get a more complex system where we can get as a benefit the best from both, and even to get the weakest point from the two and to learn more together. So it's possible, I think.
Anton?
Yes, Paolo.
So, Paolo, I would like that this could be possible, but I don't think reasonable that teachers from university will go to take the PDC diploma and to teach permaculture, because teachers at university, they did only one thing for 20, 30 years. They know a lot of things of very narrow, topic. I think for permaculture, the best solution is to organize a master with an expert of permaculture from the Academy of Permaculture, with the role of coordinator and the tutor, and invite teachers from the university to give their contribution. But the role of the expert in permaculture is always to keep the attention and underline the relationship between the specific competences and the general system. This is the I shape and T shape that Ezio showed us. So you cannot ask to a high shape individual to become a T shape just following a permaculture course. They probably will not accept this. So I think the master, you can have master with the co-organization with the permaculture academies, with the with also companies that can support the master. I mean, it's a way how to have the opportunity to invite experts from also other university, instead to have the teachers from one only one department. So you can have a master much more strong, much more interesting for the student that they will follow the master after the degree, of course. I think that this could allow for the agronomists and food scientists that are interested in sustainability and permaculture to continue and implement their knowledge with a course like a master that could be done after the degree. I mean, this is, I don't know if it is right, but after this course, I developed this idea.
If I can say my comment on that, I think we have to continue to teach our course. I'm a teacher of vegetable crops, and so I don't want to be a permaculture teacher, because of course I can't follow all the complexity, or I can follow, but I think in the perspective, we need to collaborate with the academy, because the academy is like a council of technicians. We have the council of agronomists, and we have a partnership in our department with them to teach for some specific course. The same could be done with the academy. Is a consortium of technicians developed the expertise in this field, and we will integrate our expertise in this big frame. But of course, my frame is not permaculture. Is important the complexity of permaculture for addressing my work, but my work is horticulturist mainly.
Thank you. There is a comment from Daniel in the chat saying that university teachers bring valuable inputs and with specialist courses. Ezio will take your remark, and then I encourage you to continue discussing this in the PermaModule.moodlecloud.com platform, as we'll have to slowly wrap up and finish the webinar. Ezio, go ahead.
Just a brief one. I echo what Paolo and Ferdinando said, because when I teach at PDC, and when it comes to the weak links in my PDCs, like soils and plants, I'm not a specialist in that. But in teaching at the university, this PermaModule course, we were kind of, I felt overwhelmed by seeing these experts in soil science and plant species and biodiversity integrating within the course. I would have been embarrassed to have presented the same material. Let the experts do it. They add so much more value and flavor. And as Ferdinando was saying, they can keep on specializing in what they do best, but it takes a permaculturist to string the story together. So there's a wonderful combination of the two approaches that end up with a better holistic course. So I valued the specialist input on the university course. So thanks to them, all of them. Thank you.
And thank you, Ezio, and thank you everybody for your contributions today. This is far from over as a discussion. We'll have a lot of pathways to explore in terms of how we can create new projects within the Erasmus Plus framework or Horizon. I heard what you said, Ferdinando, to create some more connections, maybe new masters, maybe other projects in education. We will resume this conversation later with the partners. But it was good to hear from everybody, including the students, including permaculture practitioners today, from the UK, from Romania, from Italy, from everywhere. Thank you very much for your attention. It has been a very long webinar, three hours and a bit more than that. But it's been very interesting and I think enriching for everybody. I hope to see you soon. I'm sure I'll see some faces soon. In the meantime, as I said, you can still follow what we do on the Moodle Cloud platform and on SAFE's social media.